Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1179. That's right, episode number 1179 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live today from Red Morton Park. I couldn't get out to the trail in time. The sun will be setting in about 20 minutes. Hey, babe, how you doing? Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, my girlfriend Dawn's in the house first. Thank you so much for being here. Today is day 11. Day 11 of the GNA Positivity Challenge, and today we're going to be talking about how some people are hurting so deeply within. One more time, today, the topic for day 11 of the GNA Positivity Challenge is why some people are hurting so deeply within. I've got a lot to talk about. I'm probably only going to do 2 laps and then walk around the parking lot for a bit like I did yesterday. But I want to start off this show today with a very, very clear and concise disclaimer. Okay? That everything I state here today is public information. Everything I state here today is, for the most part, it's factual. If it's something that I'm uncertain of, I will state it as my opinion, which I'm entitled to, as part of my First Amendment protected speech here in the U.S. I will not be directly mentioning names, but I want to share some stories regarding the communities that I've surrounded myself and other people that I care for out here on the YouTube platform. And how some of these communities continue to do certain things that are primarily led by 2 people, let's just say a man and a woman, okay? The things that have been happening have been primarily led by a man and a woman in this community of people that, in my opinion, are probably struggling very much so deep within. Nothing else can explain their erratic behaviors and the things that they do to continue fueling the outrage cycle with a bunch of nonsense. Hey, GLM, how are you doing? I'm glad you're here, GLM. I have an update for you regarding your case. It's actually a pretty interesting update. You may or may not know about it, but you see, I take the time to research things that are publicly available, right? That are publicly available. And here's the thing. How many court cases do people talk about in the real news? People in the news, legacy media, also known as mainstream media, they talk about and they share their opinions and they give their analysis of these cases. It's perfectly fine for them to do it, right? But when I do it under my First Amendment protected free speech, these people claim that I'm trying to harm them. And then they make filings within their current case to include my name and a transcript of the stream where I talked about their case without mentioning their name to try to help a friend here and to just teach a lesson. Hey, GLM. So let me make it very clear again here today. that I have the right to talk about public things as long as it's done in a professional way, as long as I'm not violating YouTube's community guidelines, monetization policies, and terms of service, as long as I'm not defaming anyone's character or anything like that. All I'm doing is sharing what's factually available publicly on a court portal, and then sharing my opinions on why I think certain people are doing certain things. All part of my protected speech, right? You know, there's a chopper over here. You see it over there? It's been hovering around the area. It's just, choppers are so loud. Helicopters are so loud. And they get very distracting. I hope that chopper just goes away. I hate when they hover in the same area. They may be looking for somebody. There could be a fugitive on the loose. It's not me. They could just go on YouTube and find out where I'm at exactly. They could ping my phone. They'll find me where I'm at. Right? So, as part of the topic today, you know, some people are struggling so deeply within. I'm going to share my thoughts on why I feel they're doing certain things. And here's the bottom line. It's my right to do so, just like they've done with me in the past. There's this man and this woman in this community, this drama community, that together over the last several years have been creating very outrageous and ridiculous and slanderous content. At times it's slanderous. They're not always slanderous, but at times they have been slanderous, defamatory, right? But even when they're not slanderous or defamatory and they cannot fuel the outrage cycle to attract their audience to keep coming back and donating to them, then they have to do what... All right, we should be back live. We should be back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. I lost reception for a second. Put a 1 in the chat, please, if you can hear me and see me clearly. So, like I said, a lot of these people, they're not happy about us sharing their stories about the public stuff that they do, right? Such as public court cases, right? And being truthful about it and giving proper opinions and handling things the proper way. They're not happy about that, but they feel they have the right to talk about us in any way that they want, including defamation. I don't defame these people. I just share what's going on. And like I was saying a second ago before I got cut off, okay? When the outrage cycle within their audience dies down, in my opinion, sometimes they have to manufacture outrage. And in my opinion, sometimes these people will file frivolous lawsuits. It's my opinion to call something a frivolous lawsuit. I'm not stating it as a fact. This is my opinion, right? In my opinion, sometimes these people will file frivolous lawsuits so that way they can refuel that outrage within their audience, because without that outrage, their audience doesn't show up and donate to them. That's all it boils down to, right? That's all it boils down to, right? So I'm going to respectfully share some things that I've seen in a public case. I'm not going to mention the names. GLM, that's not your real name, but you know, you're the defendant in this case, right? You've been wondering why you haven't been served yet. There's a reason why you haven't been served yet, GLM. Are you still around? The reason why you haven't been served yet is because the court has not issued a summons in that case, the plaintiff, to serve you with. The court has not issued a summons in the case. Now, I did my research. I'm currently the plaintiff in a full-blown circuit civil case. Your case is a small claims case that, in my opinion, I feel that the plaintiff filed to make it appear like a circuit civil case. But it's not, right? And all my thoughts and everything that I mentioned previously was pretty much spot on about what's going on. And because the plaintiff doesn't want to be exposed for, in my opinion, she knows what she's doing. Because she doesn't want to be exposed, she files in your court case with her a transcript of my stream where I shared my opinions about this publicly available information about a public figure on YouTube. Right? There's a reason why. Can you folks still hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. This is a bad reception area. I want to make sure that we're still going through. Thank you, babe. The reason why the summons hasn't been created by the clerks is because, yes, this case, in my opinion, and go see it yourself, it's procedurally flawed. It was a small claims case filed in a similar way that a full-blown circuit civil case would be filed. The plaintiff filed the wrong document. The plaintiff filed a complaint like he would file in a full-blown circuit civil case. In a small claims case, you file a different document. It's called a statement of claim, I believe. It's called a statement of claim. And this person's probably watching me right now, and in her head she's probably saying, oh boy, he gave me up. What can I do now to shift the outrage into a direction of calling him out and stirring more outrage and blah, 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 and threatening to sue him? And I'm just sharing my thoughts about this publicly available information about a public figure without mentioning anyone's names except a screen name of someone that's a friend of ours here, GLM, right? So the wrong document was filed. It should have been a statement of claim for a small claims case in that state. Instead, this person filed a complaint like you would file in a full-blown circuit civil case. In my opinion, doing all my analysis and everything and reading the law and everything, right? That's one of the main reasons that's holding back the clerk from issuing the summons. And once the summons is issued, then you can try to serve the defendant, right? Here's the interesting thing. That case, I believe, was filed on November 3rd. It's what, November 11th now? What's that, 8 days ago? That notice of correction, which is what happens when you make a mistake, the clerk sends you a notice of correction, and then they basically tell you how to correct it. All you have to do is make the correction, right? All you have to do is make the correction. Now, additionally, we'll go back to that. Additionally, the plaintiff also filed for a fee waiver that was granted, that was approved by the court. So the fee waiver was approved. So the fee waiver request is not holding back the summons from being issued. So then you use process of elimination and deductive reasoning, and you're like, what else could be holding this back? And then you look at the rule of procedure, and basically the wrong document was filed. A complaint form was filed in a small claims case where instead you file a statement of claim. That's holding back, in my opinion. It could be one of some other things too. We'll get into that. But I believe that is the main thing that's holding back the summons from being issued. Now, having dealt with this person in other lawsuits and out here on YouTube for the last time, I have learned over the years that between her and this other guy that I am in a civil circuit case with, that I'm the plaintiff suing him for defamation and other things, these people will do anything to keep their audience around, preserve their audience, right? And lead their audience to believe that they're not wrong and everyone else is wrong and they're right. Even though procedurally both of them in each respective case have made a lot of procedural errors, in my opinion. Okay? But they want to keep the facade of their audience alive, right? And they care more about their reputation and keeping an audience of people on YouTube alive and continuing to get donations from those people. For some reason, they feel like if they lose that audience, in my opinion, I feel that they're feeling if they lose that audience, then they lose their identity completely. And that's really sad. That's really, really sad, right? It's really, really, really sad. So why has the correction not been made by the plaintiff in this small claims case? Why? Because it delays the case. This is my opinion. I'm entitled to it. This may not be happening, but in my opinion, I think this is the reason, and I'm entitled to my opinion. And if you want to sue me for my opinion, you certainly can. And I'd be happy to bring to court with me all the times where you talked about my situations, because I'm a public figure, and how it was okay for you to do it, but not for me to talk about this situation, which I'm actually doing it the right way. I'm being honest and respectful and reasonable. You've always blasted me and also included defamatory stuff coming at me. I'm doing it the right way. So yeah, again, I'll put it out there. You know, if you're upset for me basically stating my opinions that I'm entitled to in a respectful way, just because you don't like the fact that your game's being called out, in my opinion, it's a game, right? Do what you got to do. And I'll do what I have to do. I'll do what I have to do. She has not filed the correction for misfiling a complaint where she needed to file a statement of claim, because that drags the case on longer. It allows her to go to her audience and say, look, you know, we're in this case and I'm filing these documents. And since that time, she's filed many other documents, right? Including documents on me. But right now, the technical standing of the case is it's in a stay because the wrong complaint form has been filed. It's not a complaint, it's a statement of claim in a small claims case. You don't treat a small claims case like a circuit civil case, like the one that I filed on someone that this woman is friends with and works the same community out here on YouTube with. They share the same community of people for donations and outrageous content and theatrics and all that. Another way of saying they're acting in concert, right? And they are acting in concert. They're working together, right? And then there are these other filings where she put a filing in there regarding regarding GLM and some other stuff. I'm not going to get into it. Regarding her status on something, I'm not going to talk about it. Excuse me. Babe, you're right. The allergies are really... I mean, I took my Allerfex, the Costco version of Allegra. It's made by Allegra. And, yeah, still, without the allergy medication, I mean, I'd be probably sneezing every 2 seconds. Woo, man. Well, that's my opinion too, GLM. My opinion is this whole thing is a staged facade. It's basically weaponizing the court system for content, in my opinion. In my opinion, she's weaponizing the court system for content. It's pretty obvious because she would have already filed the statement of claim to correct the wrong document she filed the complaint, which is holding back the summons from being issued by the clerk, so that way she could try to serve you. She can't even try to serve you until the summons is issued, which is being held back because the wrong document was used to file the case. And I'm more than sure, in my opinion, I'm more than sure that she's been made aware of that. They'll make you aware of that right away when you file the case. I won't go anywhere, in my opinion, too, Tia. It won't. But see, here's the thing. This is not about what happens in court for her, in my opinion. It's about what happens on YouTube. It's what happens on YouTube and the public perception. And this more so goes to prove how much this person, I feel, is weaponizing the court system for YouTube content. And that's what's making her mad. What's making her mad is the fact that I'm sharing the truth of the matter. I'm stating it as my opinion, but she doesn't like the fact that I understand the game. I don't play the game, but I understand it. Additionally, you cannot seek injunctive relief in a small claims case. And as far as the jurisdiction thing, that's going to be up to a judge to decide. If the judge feels that the person you sued harmed you in your state, which, in my opinion, they didn't harm you in your state. So this whole case is procedurally flawed left and right. If anything, it should have been filed in a full-blown circuit civil case, just like I filed on another person, a man that she's friends with in the same community. Right? So there's the update on that. You know, if she wants to threaten to sue me or go crazy on her community wall or do whatever you got to do, just know that I'm prepared for whatever you do. And I will handle it respectfully, maturely, and professionally. And it is my right to share these stories about information that's publicly available to protect the public. In my opinion, I have the right to protect the public. The public has a right to know when these types of things are happening, which unfortunately destroys your content because you're counting on this fake outrage and all this courtroom drama as your content and relevancy on the platform, in my opinion. It's the bottom line. So why is she doing it? Why is she going through all this? Why? I was told by somebody in the past that when she first started to create out here on YouTube, she said she has no friends in real life. This YouTube people are her friends. Okay. So in my opinion, what that's saying, if that's even true, I'm just stating my opinions. If that's true, she's dependent on the YouTube audience to feel like she has friends, to feel some kind of self-worth or having a purpose, right? It's my opinion. I'm entitled to that. You don't have to like my opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion, but this is how you're coming off to me. This is how it comes off to me, right? Because no normal person, in my opinion, would behave anywhere nearly this way, especially 50 plus, almost 60 years old. And, I'm not upset by it, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed at the lack of maturity. I'm disappointed at the just childish behavior of grown adults. Right? I'm disappointed at the behavior of someone. I'm not going to go any further than that because I don't want to stir up the pot. But she has a lot of responsibilities outside of this YouTube thing, and she should be more focused on those responsibilities than trying to basically keep her facade, in my opinion, going out here on YouTube. Okay, hang on, we're on lap number 2. Here's the thing. Hey, Angels, how you doing? Tia says, yeah, her case will go nowhere. We all know she's playing games. Yeah, that's my opinion. It's my opinion as well. Oh yeah, the reason why she doesn't want me talking is because she's played her game on me in the past. I know the game. So now I'm here to protect people from the game. Right? And I have the right to do that. That's the bottom line. That's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I want to help people. I want to help protect people from these very ignorant acts of people. Right? Do you want to know something? I'll say this to you, ma'am, because I know deep down inside you know what you're doing is wrong. Everyone does, right? Take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, right? Try to not get triggered at the fact that, you're being called out. I'm stating it as my opinions, but I wouldn't be surprised if everything was true. I'm entitled to my opinions, and you don't like it because it's exactly spot on. But forget about that. Look at your life outside of YouTube. You've got a dependent that you take care of. You should be focusing most of your energy on that and other things, and not doing things, weaponizing the court system for content, right? And many other things that I have proof of you've done out here on this platform, just to keep the facade and the outrage going and to keep that audience coming back that you think are your friends. You think these people are your friends. They're not your friends. They're there for the outrage. And when you don't keep giving them outrage, they stop showing up. There's no hypocrisy here. No hypocrisy here. 6-7 years ago, I overreacted to the same stuff that these people were doing to me. I just didn't understand what was going on, and I overreacted because I just wanted it to stop. So they're trying to come in here and say, "Oh, you're a hypocrite. You're doing the same things." No, I'm not doing the same things at all. Not at all. So that makes no sense, troll. Right. Well, it's not supposed to make sense to them, angels. The bottom line is, I have worked so hard over the years, over the last few years, especially this year, to shut this down because it needed to be shut down. Shut the harassment and defamation down. Look, Angel and everyone else, if these people, all they ever did was just share their opinions, even if they were insults, right? That would be fine. There's a difference between being insulted and being defamed, right? But these people realize that, hey, if they can make things up about people, and that usually means defaming their character, it's more damning to their audience, more outrageous, and then they're more prone to show up and donate, right? Like, they've called me a fraud, they've called my business a fraud, they said I've embezzled money from the former company I used to sell insurance for, right? All those things creates massive outrage to that audience that they all amplify in concert. They all amplify in concert, right? And now, because we're in court and we're documenting everything, even while it happens, we already had more than enough to file the case. A 350-something page complaint on my end with 47 exhibits already. And since that time, there's been many other filings that further corroborate why I filed the case. And then the guy in my situation is trying to say, oh, he like keeps giving me things, you know, for the... No. That's just what you're leading your audience to believe. While you figure out how you're going to get yourself out of this. And like I've said in the past, I'm open even to a settlement, but it's not going to be anywhere near what you want. You go my way, I go your way. Sorry, you go your way, I go my way. Sorry, I said it backwards. You go your way, I go my way. No, I'm not open to that. I am open to settlement talks, but I'm also ready for the January 9th motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP hearing. And possible future other hearings too. Possible discovery requests after the anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss finishes, and depositions and mediations. I'm ready for all that. But I'm also reasonable, and I'm willing to entertain a settlement offer, but it's not going to be what you think. Now, let's go to the other person that works along with this woman, the one that I'm suing, right? I'm talking about this because he did a stream last night. I'm not triggered. I'm not upset. I'm here to talk about the behavioral overreaction of that stream. Because, in my opinion, and probably anyone else that came across that stream, he was triggered as hell. He was triggered unlike there was no tomorrow. Because here's the thing, sir. We're both public figures, right? Here's the thing. You're watching right now, or you'll watch this, right? And your people are watching. Everyone is watching. It's okay. It's okay. Here's the thing. If you felt so confident in your case, you would be more cool, calm, and collected like me and not triggered like you've been on the last several streams you've done talking about me. Right? Eli's a wonderful man. Well, thank you. Eli is very reasonable, you can tell. I'm extremely reasonable, thank you. I'm not getting triggered. This is my passion. I speak with passion. I speak with authority. Because I'm a man. And I know what my self-worth is. I know what my self-worth is. And I have self-love and self-respect. Your tone of voice says it all. All shaky, all crackly. All triggered because I filed a notice asking you to preserve stock account information of people that are clearly acting in concert with you, basically amplifying your defamation. And I've got plenty of screenshots that go back months and even years. But the last two are the only ones that count because the statute of limitations is 2 years. Now, I can use stuff in the past. I just can't get, I cannot get restitution for that. But there's plenty over the last couple of years, let alone the last few months, right? And here's the thing. You improperly stated what my notice was to your audience. Let me clear that up. It was not a formal discovery request. It was not a discovery request. It was basically putting you on notice to preserve evidence and to also make you aware that once the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP surpasses and we enter discovery, that I will be subpoenaing those sock accounts, and I will be requesting the judge for a court order to subpoena those sock accounts because they're acting in concert, amplifying defamation anonymously. And hey, I'm not accusing you of being one of those sock accounts, but you could be one of them. You could be one of them, right? I'm not saying you are, but you could be, and that's what discovery will find out. We will find out in discovery who owns those sock accounts, because here's the thing. It's one thing to show your real name and face and stop defaming me and then going into the sock account mode as the same person and defaming me in the comment sections of your own postings. That's my opinion. That's what discovery is for, right? That's why you're triggered. You're triggered because you know exactly what that notice meant. And then you did something dumb. You created a posting and deleted it because you were triggered by my filing. You created a posting and then you deleted it and you got triggered by my filing. And then you said, file this. I'm not going to file that. Heck, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold it in my evidence binder and bring it to the January 9th hearing in case Judge Stacy wants to see it, right? I'm not going to waste the court's time and resources filing on every little thing. I will put it in my evidence packet, and then everything that I may present, I will file one big omnibus like I did recently to strike down all those improper filings that you made. All those emotionally reactive filings that you made, right? That looks really immature. All of his stuff is off. Yeah. Yeah. So you try to play it off to your audience like you're in control and that I'm crazy. You try to play it off like I'm trying to silence your freedom of speech. You try to play it off like I'm asking you to preserve evidence, and then you accuse me once again of spoiling my evidence by putting my videos to private, 200 videos to private. I did do that. I'll say that again. I did put those videos to private. And they're still available on my channel, so there's nothing spoiled. I also sent you an email and offered to give you the same exact videos that you can verify with your own transcripts you already have and give you downloadable and streamable links from my own website, and they're only available to the people that have the link. I offered that to you. You denied that. And you know how the judge is going to see that. I basically voluntarily offered you the evidence. I took those videos down after I got a community guideline warning to avoid further false flagging and harassment. Nothing else. You know that. You want to try to compel the court to force me to put him back to public so you can start a false flagging campaign, in my opinion, on me. Right? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. I offered you the evidence, you turned it down. You're not telling that to your audience. You continue to accuse me, which in itself is defamatory. You continue to accuse me of spoliation of evidence. Spoliation is the proper pronunciation. You continue to accuse me of spoliation of evidence because even though you know that's not the case, you need to lead your audience to believe that to keep your audience around and keep them donating, right? Have you also noticed your numbers going down on your postings? Have you noticed that people are starting to see who you really are in true colors? Because they're hearing what I'm saying, they're seeing my filings, they're seeing your filings in our case, and they're seeing how ridiculous you are. You're doing this to yourself. Instead of just saying, hey, you know what, it's time to grow up finally, right? I'm so excited for the holidays this year. She can't serve you, GLM, until the summons is issued by the clerk. And the clerk will not issue the summons until she corrects her filing. Did you hear me say that earlier, or are you like selectively here? There's nothing to serve right now, GLM. There's no summons. When you file a court case, the court has to issue you a summons, and then the plaintiff can serve the defendant. The summons is not being issued because she filed the wrong document in a small claims case. She filed a complaint, which you use those only in full-blown circuit civil cases. In a small claims case, you use the statement. I forgot the proper phrase. It's a statement of. Forgot the actual terminology. I said it earlier. Go back and listen to it. Statement of loss, I think, is what it is, or something like that. Or statement of case or something. I can't remember. Give me a second here. TF says, I have my tree up already. I'm decorating all week, having fun doing it. I'm grateful for the little things. That's great, Tia. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. These people keep lying to their audiences. In my opinion, it's a lie. I know it's a lie. They keep on twisting and taking things way out of context, so far out of context that they're flat out lies that can be verified by going to the court websites and looking at the documents filed. And then having some reasonable common sense that this is all for theatrics. This man and this woman have been all about theatrics, and both of them have been involved in several court cases over the years on YouTube because of what they've done to other people regarding their YouTube theatrics. A lot of it stems towards harassment and defamation, right? The guy that I'm suing for defamation and other stuff, malicious prosecution, abuse of process, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, he was sued for harassment, and he has a 3-year restraining order on him. It's all public information. He didn't learn his lesson. You didn't learn your lesson. And he's probably thinking that clip of when I said the same thing to a content creator in the past named Pete. Go ahead. These cars just have no patience. They just want to gun it. In that clip on my channel, I said, you didn't listen, Pete. You didn't listen. It went over your head, right? You people don't learn your lesson. And you keep on doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on the outrage and the harassment and defamation of people out here because you're hooked. You're hooked on the validation and donations of that audience. You're hooked on that. It's clouding your better judgment. It's clouding your better judgment. And those days are coming to an end. They're coming to an end. You folks know what you're doing is pushing it. You know it's pushing it. And then you try to fall back and say, oh, you're trying to silence my freedom of speech. Nope. You've been ruining my reputation for years. You've been harassing me for years. GLM, you're not getting served anytime soon. If I had to guess, in my opinion, you're never going to get served. This case is not going to go anywhere. If I had to guess, in my opinion, the judge will either throw it out because she will never, ever file the proper filing. She filed a complaint instead of the statement of, I think it's called a statement of loss, if I remember. And if she files that or admits to that publicly to her audience, she's going to have to admit that she made a mistake, or maybe, in my opinion, maybe she did that on purpose, knowing it would hold up the case, just to automatically stay the case, meaning that the case freezes and it gives her more time for content, in my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinions, right? I had to talk about this because I got to tell you this, what these two people have done in this group, and they've been very controlling to, like, not only the other people within their group, but anyone else that they've ever interacted with, like myself. Anywhere we go, they would follow us. They would try to slander us to a new audience that we were trying to reach. Like, whenever I would go on someone else's panels of live streams over the last 6 years, this guy has followed me around and sent his whole entire group acting in concert to slander me in the chat and to also come on panel and slander me on the panel, effectively upsetting the creators. Then he would put out these videos where I said some things I didn't mean a few times. You know, I said some things I didn't mean years ago, and I apologized for them. Everyone's made that mistake, even him. But he kept on sending out those slanderous videos and harassing videos of me, intentionally causing me harm. Why do you think we're in court? And right now, what you're seeing right now, the people that know the situation, and if you're new, you're probably wondering, oh, what the hell is going on? I don't blame you. But for the people that know what's going on, Dylan Walker, how you doing? Hey, Dylan, welcome to the show. I totally forgot my train of thought. I had something very important to say. Oh, another thing here. This guy that I'm suing, I know you're watching, sir. This guy that I'm suing, basically, the the reason why part of the case involves me suing him for malicious prosecution is because he tried to get a fraudulent or false stalking order on me. He accused me of sexually harassing his mother, stalking and harassing him and his internet girlfriend that we don't know her name or we've never seen her face, right? And then after, now that I filed my my notice for him to preserve all postings and videos and everything from all these sock accounts, including accounts run by his supposed internet girlfriend, his internet girlfriend has been coming at me and helping to amplify his defamatory statements and insults as well, amplifying the harassment and defamation, right? And she's triggered because she's just going along with whatever he needs. Maybe deep down within, ma'am, you even know this is wrong. But, love is blind sometimes. Love is blind a lot, right? The one thing I have with my woman, Dawn, is honesty, trust, and respect. Well, 3 things. We have more than that, but the 3 main things: honesty, trust, and respect, right? Because here's the thing. We're real with each other. I told Dawn, even when Dawn would call me out, she goes, you're biased with me because you don't want to hurt my feelings. I said, no, I'm not biased with you. I will never be biased with you. What I've told you is the truth. Now, are you wrong sometimes? Sure. But the majority of the things that you've been blamed for by many different parties, in my opinion, from what I've seen and what I know of you, I don't think you're wrong. And I think you're being too hard on yourself. You're being too hard on yourself, right? So now, this guy's internet girlfriend is so triggered because of how well I placed my filings that she now wants to try to antagonize me with these postings. They don't antagonize me, ma'am. And me responding to this professionally is not going to affect my case, right? And if people want to file this to show Judge Stacy in our case how reasonable I am, you can file it all you want. I don't care. And I'm not saying that in the same tone you're saying it. What I'm saying is you're entitled to file whatever you want. You could say whatever you want to say, but if you say something that's against the law or defamatory, at some point when we reach the judge in a hearing or multiple hearings, then we'll see what's defamatory and what's not, right? Eventually, one day, Judgment Day is going to come, and it's coming sooner than you think. It's coming sooner than you think, and here's the thing. I'm not trying to intimidate you. You talk about me, you talk about the case. I can talk about this whenever I want, and I'm more respectful and professional about it. I'm being reasonable, something you're not. You are not. You've never been reasonable. Everyone knows you've never been reasonable. Never been reasonable. You can't sit there and try to hold me accountable for things. You don't hold your own self accountable. And then you try to flip it and say I'm a hypocrite. Nope. You try to accuse me of spoliation of evidence when I've offered you the evidence. I have the evidence. I'm willing to host it for you. The exact same thing. You can verify it with your transcripts. You know it's the same thing. You just have nothing else. Right? You have nothing else. You did it for theatrics too, in my opinion. And file that. You did it for theatrics. If you want to file the fact that I am saying I believe you've done most of your filings for theatrics. Because whether you file that or not, here's the thing. That's part of my case. Part of my case is going to be, Your Honor, this guy is just doing this for theatrics. Just look at my filings, look at his. Look at what he says to his audience and what actually happens. He's lying to his own audience to try to save his face. Which, that's YouTube theatrics. The judge won't care about that. What the judge is going to care about is, did you defame me or not? And there's proof of that. Did you try to maliciously prosecute me? You did do that with the stalking case. Did you abuse the process? You did with the process server and the server video. Have you inflicted emotional distress on me? Yes, you have. That's all the judge is going to care about. The judge is not going to care about YouTube theatrics that are your livelihood, that's your lifeline. You see, I don't come out here and pull shenanigans or use YouTube theatrics as my content. I come out here and I help people. And I share my stories and my experiences. You happen to be a part of my experiences. You happen to be someone that behaves so bizarre, more than any other person I've known in my life. And the way that you just keep on going and you never accept or learn responsibility, no matter how many court cases you're involved with, or no matter how many people, tell you that, hey, tone it down, no matter how many people dismiss you, and you've been dismissed a lot, you still never learn your lesson, right? And that's what keeps on ending, that's what keeps up getting you in court. That's why you keep ending up in court, which is what I'm trying to say. And if you don't learn your lesson after this, it's gonna continue to go down the same path. Let go of your ego. Let go of the resentment, or let go of whatever is causing you to not let go of this situation with myself or other people. I think the situation, in my opinion, stems beyond me. In my opinion, I think this guy has like a character flaw or something. Besides the being spoiled and entitled, in my opinion, he has a major character flaw, in my opinion. And I'm not insulting you. I'm just basically critiquing your behavior based on what I've seen here for 8 years plus, 8+ years. Your audience will know the truth at some point, because the case is going to be ruled on, right? The case will be ruled on. Your audience will know the truth. What's going to happen when the day comes, when Judgment Day comes? And let's say Judgment Day comes and most, if not all, of your motion to dismiss and anti-SLAPP gets dismissed. How's that gonna look? I'm just putting it out there. I'm putting it out there because you've been amping up this, I've got this in the bag and this and that, and I'm not even saying that. You never know what's going to happen. I'm confident in my case, but I'm not going around trying to rub it in your face that I'm going to beat you in this case. Hey, how you doing? Good evening to you as well. Oh, and by the way, you compared my GNA 2 channel to your new channel. Good for you. Good for you. Hey, whatever. You have more total views than I do in a shorter amount of time. I really don't care. But also, a lot of the views you got from Will Smith and other videos where you used their name and likeness and their content to get those views. And I bet a lot of those videos have copyright claims on them on that one monetized channel of yours that shouldn't even be monetized, because you've already been removed from the YouTube Partner Program for 3 times, and you've had like 10 channels removed, and you're circumventing a YouTube ban and an AdSense ban. And then you have the nerve to come on your stream last night and say that I'm should I monetize this drama channel? Go right ahead and see what happens. Go right ahead. hey, hey, you know what? If I'll give you my blessing on one thing, go right ahead and monetize that drama channel and see what happens. And see how quickly YouTube scans everything and brings more of what you're doing to the forefront, and then you get removed again, right? Most people, when they make mistakes, they learn from them. Sometimes people make the same mistake twice, 3 times, and then they learn from it. You've made the same mistake out here on YouTube literally like 20 times. And either you still haven't learned from it, or you've learned from it and you just don't care about the rules. You don't care about the rules. You only care about the rules when they apply in your favor. But you don't feel other people should have the right to the same rules that you do. Right? This is some, in my opinion, this is some severe cognitive dissonance. And you've said, I have cognitive dissonance. I'll tell you what I have. I think I have like some OCD, and sure, hey, I've got issues. I'm not perfect. I'm very obsessive in the right ways. I like to make sure everything's done right, and I'm very protective of the people I care for, especially my girlfriend and my family and all that. My girlfriend is a part of my family, our dogs, everything, right? But I would like to think that what's in here cognitively in my brain functions properly and reasonably. Cognitively, in my opinion, you do not function anywhere near a reasonable level. You don't. You absolutely don't. You don't. I've been working hard to turn around my reputation that you ruined for the last 6+ years. You, and then amplified by that other woman that I was talking about earlier without mentioning her name, just like I didn't mention yours, regarding the small claims case. Between you and her, you've been doing it longer. You've been doing it for 6+ years. She's done it for the last 2+ years. When she started coming around making content on me, she was just amplifying the defamation that you already were doing, right? And then you guys didn't like each other for a while. There are plenty of clips on that, but you don't see me playing them. Maybe GLM's been playing them. Good. That was a good clip, GLM. When this guy was talking about the lady that's suing you. And now they've been friends since earlier this year. They rejoined forces, right? And they started working in concert again. They started working together again to amplify the defamation of me, right? But you know what's interesting right now? Here's the thing. I'm going to wrap up with this, okay? Here's what's interesting to the guy that I'm suing. The woman that tried to intervene in our case, who's a friend of yours working in concert with you, okay? And some other people that are close to you, I can totally tell by the way they're not posting as much about me or making videos about me. I can tell that they're trying to distance themselves from you, at least when it comes to content on me, because they're showing me without even saying that they know the stove is hot. Which probably further triggers you because you're like, oh man, I'm losing all my support. I'm in this fight on my own. I'm boxed in right now. The walls are closing in. That's my opinion. I can share my opinion. The walls are closing in. I'm boxed in, right? And that's what triggers. That's what triggers people when they feel boxed in, right? You're the one that put yourself in that position, not me. I'm just defending myself. I'm defending my reputation that you've tarnished on this platform for the last 6-7 years. That's all it boils down to. And a lot of people have come out and said, wow, Elias not really as bad as the guys they made him out to be. I'm not really a bad guy at all. Am I perfect? No. I'm not perfect by far, but for Christ's sake, I'm nothing near what this guy's presented me to be. People are seeing the light. People are seeing the light. And slowly but surely, it's turning around. I'm working hard to turn it around. And I don't care if you get more views than me on your other channel. Because we all know it's going to happen. I don't have to tell you it's going to happen. We all know it's going to happen. Okay? I don't have to tell you the same old song and dance you've been living for the last 8 years. It's a vicious cycle with you. It always goes in cycles. Eventually, the cycle will end, and then you'll have to start over again. At some point, you're going to have to figure it out. You still haven't. Maybe by the end of this case, you will. The truth will come out. Of course, the truth's already out, Tia. The truth is already out, right? Tia, here's the thing. When you have people that are hurting deep within, that lack self-love, they're going to more so gravitate towards a creator like him. And even if these people know that I'm right, he's wrong, they're gonna support him because they're in a similar state of mind as he's in. Meaning that lack of self-love, lack of self-respect, right? Lack of purpose, right? That's what it all boils down to, right? That's all it boils down to. Yep, the case will show a lot too. Oh yeah, this is only the beginning. No, this is only the beginning. Yeah, I mean, dude, listen, you can talk a big game all you want. You can keep going live every day and lie to your audience, and you could tell them I'm spoiling the evidence. You could tell them that my filings are frivolous. You can tell them that I can't do this or do that. I've done everything exactly the right way any attorney would have done it. And you know it. And that's why you're rattled and triggered, right? If you knew, if you truly felt I didn't do the right stuff, if you truly felt I didn't do the right stuff, you'd be a lot more cool, calm, and collected, because then you would know, hey, okay, I know that I'm right and Eli's wrong, and I don't have to say it. I don't have to, or at least if you talk about it, you'd be a lot calmer like me. I'm not triggered. I'm just, this is how I talk. I talk with passion. You know when I'm triggered. I've been triggered in the past. I have been triggered in the past because I didn't understand the stuff that you were doing in the same way 6 years ago that you're doing now. But now I learned the game. Now I can understand it better, not get triggered, and then handle it more maturely and legally like we are at this time, right? Start getting your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in about 5 to 10 minutes, so I'm just going to walk around a little bit more. We are at 69 minutes, an hour and 9 minutes. So you really think the Dylan account? Well, I don't know if it's him or not. If it's him, whatever. If he's that bold to come here and chat, then whatever. I can't control every sock account. I don't know for a fact whether it's him or not. I'm not going to accuse someone of something that I'm not fully sure of. That's why there's discovery. That's why discovery. When we get to discovery, yeah, all the people that are still acting in concert with him, amplifying defamation, yeah, there'll be plenty of valid legal reasons to compel the Judge Stacy, to court order YouTube and other social media sites and other aspects to identify these people, so that way we can make them a part of the case and hold them accountable. because that's what a lot of people do right now on the internet. A lot of people, what they'll do is, okay, when the stove gets hot, they'll get on suck accounts, right? And you know, they'll have other people on suck accounts too, and they all know who each other is, right? But that's what discovery's for, right? That's what a court order will force the social media companies to release that information. And they're going to come back and say, well, you know, Judge Stacy will never give you a court order. You could be right, but you never know. And that you got to have enough. You got to have enough to convince the judge it's necessary. And I believe I have more than enough. So, you know, hey, it's worth it for me to roll the dice on that. Is it worth it for you to roll the dice on that? You want all your private DMs from Discord and all the stuff that you put on there on me? Even if you've deleted it, they have backup copies, right? And if you did delete all that stuff, that's spoliation of evidence right there. But you're not seeing me file. You're not seeing me file any of that. I'm not going to file any of that spoliation of evidence stuff unless there's concrete proof of you doing it. All I'm saying is I'm putting you on notice and letting you know that, hey, let your people know that are acting in concert with you, that if they continue to amplify your defamatory postings or amplify defamatory statements made on live stream replay comment sections, that they'll be subject to subpoena. It's all being documented. That's all. That's all. It's just a notice. All it is a notice. Because then, if you start doing the opposite of the notice, then I can go to the court and say, Judge Stacy, I sent him an email, I sent him notice, I filed it with the court, and he's not taking my notice seriously. You don't like the notice because it's an accountability notice with the court. And you, sir, don't want to be held accountable for anything you've ever done in life. You never want to be held accountable for anything you've done in life, ever. The court is going to force the accountability, and that's what you don't like. That notice is accountability, and that's what triggered you more than anything. You don't want to be held accountable by me because you've led your audience to believe that you're the God individual and I'm a piece of crap. And you've been living vicariously through those characters for the last 6+ years. That all comes to an end soon. That all comes to an end soon. I'm going to get going and go home and spend some time with Dawn. Thanks to everyone for being here. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. It is much appreciated. Thank you so much, Tia. I don't know if my lady is still here right now. She probably is. She usually says something at the very end. We are almost at 75 minutes. We're almost at 100. It's not 100, an hour and 15 minutes. We're at an hour and 14 minutes right now. Almost at an hour and 15 minutes. Have a great night, everyone. Angels Asylum says, thank you, Angels. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your support. I hope things are going well for you. Now, let's see if these people can just take a deep breath and not get triggered and post dumb things on their community walls in reaction to this stream. Let's see if they can just table it and just let it go and be reasonable for once. My guess, I highly doubt it. My lady says, respectfully, maturely, professionally says, good night, everyone. Keep smiling. Thanks. Thank a veteran for your freedom. Absolutely. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. I forgot about the Happy Veterans Day. Love you all. Yes, and my best out to Tia's late husband, Ray. God bless all of you. Tia, Dawn, Angels, GLM, ODN, Sandra, again, Tia, and then your late husband, Ray. God rest his soul. God bless him. Thank you to Ray and all other veterans for our freedom. It's about to turn to an hour and almost an hour and 16 minutes. Thank you, says Tia. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.